Weston, do you know what I enjoy?
A lot of really dumb stuff.
True. You know what else I enjoy? Computers.
Well,
do you know what's fun about computers though? Making them significantly worse.
Oh my god.
Wouldn't you agree?
I disagree, but yes, at the same time I agree.
This computer has 32 gigs of RAM. And I was thinking, actually during the unboxing video for the GPU in this computer, it says on the box, and I will quote, minimum system requirements.
Yep.
Minimum 8 gigabytes of system memory.
Yep, with a recommendation of 16.
It's there. Okay, you see it.
So yes, it very much claims that. And the question is, why does it need that much?
I don't know. And also, why am I holding this box? I didn't need it. So anyways, we ended up buying 8 gigs of RAM. And now I know what you're thinking, like, hey, 8 gigs isn't all that impressive. 2 4 gigabyte sticks. Weston, I think we should put 4 gigabytes of RAM into this computer, which has a Ryzen 9 5900X and an RX 7700 XT, by the way. It's no slouch of a machine.
I would
So
agree.
if there's a bottleneck in there somewhere,
It would end up being the RAM.
I think it's gonna be the RAM. So
And I will say, like, you're going to drop it down to 4. 4 is the minimum given by Windows 11, which is what we're running. So it should, in theory, be runnable.
can we play any games at all? I think that's kind of the most important question here. Can we play a game?
We're gonna see. I think we could. Well, define play. I think
Can a game launch?
We'll see.
I think Stardew Valley is the easiest one to run, and I have my doubts even about that. So we're gonna kill the computer. We're gonna pop in just this beautiful set. Not even the set. We're popping in one stick.
We're putting in half of it.
We're gonna put in half of these beautiful memory modules. And as you can see, 8 gigs. Let's go. Hey Weston, how does it feel knowing that you are completely dumbing down my computer?
Well, I'm just making it more like you, right? Love you, Jordan.
Unboxing this beautiful kit, which by the way, I think it's safe to say that Patriot, for their signature line, might want to move up a little bit in capacity. Is that the word I'm looking for here?
Yep.
Wow. So a quick little review, just, you know, the field test. This is probably one of the cheapest sticks of RAM that I've held in a while.
I mean, especially if you compare it to what was just in there.
Okay, but I mean, hold on. We gotta give it a bend test on camera. I feel like, oh, focus. A stick of RAM. I shouldn't be able to do this with one hand, and I'm not even trying, because I'm afraid to break it.
Well, even if you break one, we still have a backup.
True, but just feel that.
It was maybe hard to believe, but I felt worse.
That's what she said.
All right, so shall I install the RAM?
You shall, and are we gonna go slot 2?
I believe so. What does your motherboard actually require?
RAM.
Thanks, Captain. Thanks.
It requires RAM.
Yeah, thanks. I got that. When you're putting it in, always make sure you line up the actual slot. You'll see that there's a little point where it's actually cut out. Each generation of RAM is actually cut out at a different location, so that's one way you'll always know if you've got the right generation or not. Let's get this in there. And you gotta make sure you get it in there all the way. It should click, and you'll notice that the clips here on the end should actually fold in on it so that you know that it's in. Wanna make sure that it's in all the way. And sometimes it does take more force than you would think, but that should be in.
The amount of "that's what she said" I wanted to drop while he was explaining that.
Let's just say I like mentally heard every single one of them that you wanted to say.
I'm glad we're on the same page. All right, so
Well, let's hope we're not on
let's
paging here, which
let's
we might
take a
actually go
guess.
into.
Leave us a comment down below. I want you to make a prediction right now. 1, this is gonna be a 2-part comment. 1, will the 7700 XT actually work with only 4 because it said it requires 8? And 2, will we get any game to run? Also, while you're down there, make sure that you like this video and subscribe because you haven't subbed yet. We'll wait. All right,
Still waiting.
we're still waiting.
Yeah. I'll wait as long as it takes.
They did it.
They must have by
I
now.
felt it in my jellies.
Please don't say
Thank
that.
you.
Please don't say that.
Let's turn it on.
All right. Coming around here.
Coming in hot.
All right, let's see what it does.
Now, one thing about Ryzen, I was gonna say it might take a while because of memory training, but then I realized it's only 4 gigs, so maybe there's not much to train.
There really is not much to that.
Oh, my jokes. There's not much to train, unlike the giant train that was on your mom. I am so sorry.
If nothing else, you're destroying my train of thought.
Hey, Mifa, do you want to be on camera? Oh, you've grown so much.
Yeah, how you doing?
Everyone say hi to Mifa. She's a good girl. She's a certified good girl. She just had surgery a few weeks ago, and she's doing so good.
Are we ever going to get past the actual flash screen here?
I mean, it does require 4 gigs for the card. That wouldn't prevent it, though, from getting past this. And I know that, but I wanted to make the joke. So before you try to roast me in the comments, I'm not that dumb. I'm dumb, but I'm not that dumb.
Okay, he's not dumb about this stuff. He's dumb, and he's that dumb, but not about this.
I'm big brain about computer stuff, things.
Well,
You put the thing into the thing, and you clip the thing, and then you press the thing, and then the thing does the thing.
precisely.
That made sense to those of you that know. It would reset the RAM speed, right?
It should.
It should have, in theory. Maybe go into the BIOS, 'cause I mean, we're still on the press the delete key. We haven't left that yet.
So, I've hit delete.
Mr. Weston,
Yes.
is it possible that we should try putting the stick of RAM into slot 1? Would that make a difference here?
That's what I was about to actually say, is let's try a different slot. I mean, here's the thing.
Kill it!
I was going to say, it shouldn't be like the end of the world for what it is.
I hope all of you on the video enjoy the back of my hoodie, by the way. Which, by the way, if you like, you can go to my YouTube channel and go to the merch. Sorry, I had to plug it.
Well, what is your YouTube channel?
YouTube.com/Jordan K. All one word. Some people were confused because they put Jordan space K, and I don't live in space, I'm on Earth.
Well, then again, there is space here that you're actually living inside of.
And there's plenty of space in my head. I feel bad when Weston roasts me, but then I also realize that I've set him up for him every single time.
Every single time. Yeah, I don't think the solution was moving the slot.
We have a debug LED.
So 2 was the correct one, as we'd originally thought. That just means it wasn't going through.
Can we not even boot into Windows with 4 gigs?
That's what it's looking like. Now, what we can do is go into the BIOS and see if there's a little bit more to it. So I'm gonna go ahead and kill this again. Press and hold to make sure all the power gets
Now, Weston,
drained out of it.
I have to ask. What were the odds, or what are the odds, that me just doing the little bend test broke that memory stick to the point of no return?
No, because it did run before, remember?
True, but we didn't get past the splash screen. Was there something? I don't know how this, listen, Weston, when it comes to computers, I'm just gonna give you a quick little rundown like I'm explaining it to a 5-year-old. Weston is a college professor who has his do you have your master's?
Yes, I do.
You have your master's in cybersecurity, and you're going for your doctorate?
Yep, in computer science.
In computer science, yes. So he is a college professor. He teaches what programs?
Well, we're currently retiring the 2 current ones, but I've taught computer programming and game design and development. We're replacing it with cybersecurity and systems administration.
So all of those right there that he teaches, you should know. He's definitely the smarter one of us two. What was it when we had the idea to start this channel? You said that I would be the personality and you would be the brains. And I think that's pretty fair assessment.
Oh, 100%.
When it comes to the brain, because he's definitely much bigger brain than I. I like
Are you
how...
saying I have a big head?
Yeah. All that hot air's gotta be somewhere.
Something we can do real quick to check. Let's try using the second stick in here just to make sure that these work at all.
Yes.
Is that fair?
Very.
Oh.
Oh, wait a minute. What'd we do? Now keep in mind, chat, okay, this isn't chat. I know, listen, I'm a live streamer, okay? I stream on Twitch full time. This is a side project we decided to start up. Anyways, keep in mind, this is booting off of an M.2 drive. I don't remember if it's PCI Gen 3 or Gen 4, but it's booting off of a M.2 drive, which Gen 3 or 4 should be fast enough for what we're doing here. It should still boot in a reasonable amount of time.
Oh, absolutely. All right, I'm going to
Defense.
kill it. Let's try putting in the second stick of RAM and just make sure that the RAM itself is actually the problem.
Okay. If you hear my dog drinking water, I apologize.
I don't.
She likes to video bomb. She thinks all the attention needs to be on her. She is right. She deserves all the attention.
Mm-hmm.
But she kind of lets it go to her little puppy head.
This is just to see if it is like an issue with like the capacity or if it's...
You think Windows isn't even going to let us boot with just 4?
That's what I'm questioning right now. Even though they say...
Can you game on 4 gigs of RAM? You can't even boot with 4 gigs of RAM.
Maybe. We're going to see because it could just be a bad stick.
That was my nickname in high school.
No, it wasn't, but sure. Because I'm sure that one didn't stick with you.
All my nicknames tend to leave.
You know you really need to branch out with your jokes.
Am I barking up the wrong tree?
Oh.
Hey, that's new. Safe mode!
Yeah, it's because we've started enough times where it didn't actually go through. So we are going to go ahead, hit F1. But notice it's actually, responsive. You see how we actually got into the BIOS this time? It does show both of these as functioning. So
Me fight you go outside, baby girl.
Okay,
I
I'll
will
grab
be
the
right
camera and I will. So sorry, I kind of have shaky hands. So you can see kind of right along in here that there are, hey Jordan.
Hey.
We are seeing that the DIMM A2 and DIMM B2 are both showing that the RAM is in there and is showing the correct quantities. So we know that both sticks are functional. One thing we can say for certain, the other stick was working and it wasn't letting us go through. So that means Windows was not letting us boot with the 4 gigabytes of RAM.
So what you're telling me is 4 gigs of RAM is like Todd Howard. Says
Yes.
it just works, but it won't.
Yep.
I'm looking at you, Oblivion Remaster.
Oh, did we just freeze up?
Did we freeze up in the BIOS?
We've got fun stuff going on here.
Now keep in mind, this computer did work with 32.
Yeah, it worked just fine.
Also, it was clocked in at 3600 megahertz instead of the base speed of DDR4, which is 2133.
Mm-hmm.
So we were nearly double the speed.
But still, that does not account for the fact our cursor hasn't moved at all since I've started.
Have you tried rubbing it harder?
Yes, good. He is gone. That's better for all of us. All right, so all I know for certain is that once again, it has frozen. So it's possible that we have some issues to really sort through here. So best thoughts is to probably just go ahead and try a restart and see how it actually holds up. Oh, he's back.
Don't worry, I come with more gifts. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know. This is 8 in this one. I believe that's 8 as well.
That's going to be 8 at 3200 megahertz.
So these are all 8 gig sticks. Never mind, I was hoping to have, I don't know what I was hoping to have. This was just stuff I had left over laying in the closet. I had 32 gigs of RAM left over laying in the closet.
Of course you would.
I have a problem.
A problem?
I have multiple problems.
That's better. And right now our system is having a lot of trouble.
Why'd you break it?
Because you said you wanted to make the computer worse. Is that not what you said when we started?
That is true. I did say I like making computers worse. And today, we have made a computer worse.
We've reached the point where right now, we're just getting issues. So let's go
Reminds me
ahead.
of my life.
Go ahead, let's go in here, just make sure we're still on the right input. Yep.
Weston, we are the first people to ever do something. We are the first people ever on YouTube to have a tech channel where we record in the kitchen. That's never been done.
Not at all?
Nope, never. We're the first.
Well, at least we've got something going for us.
Linus who? So next troubleshooting step, putting in the original RAM to see if it boots with that.
Well, I'm not going to put in all of the original RAM. I'm just going
Just
to put in,
a original RAM.
yeah, one stick of the original RAM after removing this abomination.
Hey.
Is that the correct term?
I spent 20 bucks on that kit.
Yeah, like I said, it stands.
That was expensive, sir. You know how much $20 is in like today's economy? That could have got me 1 egg.
Or a night with your mom.
Hey, she's a nice lady.
So we're back to this. So we're going to go ahead, enter into here.
Is this RAM kit just so crappy that it won't boot at all?
You can see right here, we're in for 2133 megahertz.
Well, it's because we reset it, so it
Yep.
reset the DOCP. But
Well-
it does say that Profile 1 is enabled. Was that maybe our issue? Was Profile 1 still trying to load?
That's what I'm wondering here.
Or would that not... Alright, now Weston,
Uh.
you being the big brain individual that you are, would Profile 1 not take over until after we then leave the BIOS? Save changes
Well.
and restart, meaning it won't apply until you're out of the BIOS?
Well, either way, I'm about to go ahead and do a save and exit. And we're just going to see how it runs.
Okay, so on today's video, how much RAM do you need to play games in 2025? So far, we're up to 8 because 4 won't boot. You changed that much?
Nope. It's just changing it itself. So we're going to see what it does.
CPU fan error. Press, yeah, so we got to ignore it because it's an AIO, so there is no CPU fan. So I can take care of this quick. We need to go F7.
Yep.
We need to go to monitor, CPU fan, ignore, and I'm assuming that is it.
That should be all.
Big brain. I did that fast. I knew right where that was.
I'm not familiar with this BIOS quite as well, so, but that's fine.
This was my main PC for years. This was my stimulus check PC.
Man, that takes me back.
Thank you, United States government. No one ever wastes money quite like you.
Oh, we finally got in.
I am kind of curious though to know how many people are going to click on this video, be really interested in the subject matter, and then hear me talk, and they're just like, yeah, I don't care.
All right, at this point in time, we're using 6.6 out of our 7.9 gigabytes.
So you're telling me there's a chance that we could play something?
Yes. Last time when we booted up, it was also 6.6 gigabytes out of the 32. So,
So what do you think? Should we load up a game?
oh, absolutely.
We said that Stardew Valley was probably the easiest one. System requirements said 2 gigs of RAM. Maybe they meant 2 gigs available? Because
Nope.
we
It said
couldn't
under,
boot 4.
Win- it said Windows Vista. That's a completely different operating system that allowed for lower requisites.
But still, 2 gig.
If you're playing on Windows Vista, Stardew Valley claims that you can still play on it.
But also, if you do play on Windows Vista, maybe get yourself a different operating system because that one's old.
It wasn't that good.
Kind of like your mother. I haven't played this game in 2 years.
We're 7.5 gigs.
How's it feel?
So far, very responsive. Everything's going just fine so far. And if I look at the system memory utilization here, we're still only at 7.5 gigabytes. We've still got some spare, so nothing too crazy here.
All right, next game. Now, Weston, there's always been a meme, but can it run
Crisis?
Crisis? Now, here in 2025, I don't know if you're aware, we have a different meme, but can it run Starfield? We have how much available memory?
So, like...
We're using 6.7 gigs out of our available 7.9. Now, Weston, would you like to just kind of give a quick summary of why we have an 8 gigabyte stick, but it says 7.9?
Well, that's just because of how we actually calculate our megabytes and like bits going into it. It's calculational stuff.
I took a mega bite of my burger tonight. Starfield says it requires 16 gigs of RAM. I don't know if Wallpaper Engine takes up RAM or not. You might want to kill it.
All right.
Mifa's grabbed a squeaky toy.
We want to get rid of Discord as well?
Yeah, anything that's not a game, I think we should probably kill.
All right.
We're in worst case scenario time.
Okay.
Hey, Mifa, listen, I love you, but we can't have squeaky toys with the microphones on, okay? Starfield's launching!
Building shaders.
Mifa, quit hitting the tripod. You little turd. You're hitting the tripod when we're trying to hold the camera still. You know the crazy thing about Starfield? Is if you look close enough at the eclipse of that planet, you can see your face. Weston's in the game, everybody. System memory utilization, you can see we're almost full with 7.3 gigs.
Out of the 7.9.
I think we should go ahead and hit play.
7.6, 7.5.
How long until it crashes?
Well, I don't...
Hold on, Mifa is out again because she's psychotic.
I guess while he's doing that,
Come on.
and while this is taking its time to load, I'll tell you a little something about how RAM works. So this is where, like, everything that's you're seeing right now is, well, right now most of it's going to actually be in VRAM, but system memory is where, like, Windows and all the other applications like Steam are going to actually be loaded in too. When you run out of system RAM, you start going into what are called page files. Have you heard of those before?
I have heard of page files, yeah.
Okay.
Now, can I tell you what they are? No. We're playing.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it's running so beautifully in 1080p.
But no, what a page file is it's actually utilizing not the RAM at that point, but some of your actual storage as RAM. So that's what a page file is. So if you ever exceed the amount of RAM you have, that's what we'll start doing. And you start getting what's called thrashing, which is where like you're saving what's currently in RAM onto your, in this case, an SSD is what it would be. And then like as you're swapping things out, you're taking it out of the SSD back onto the RAM and taking what would be like no longer at the forefront and putting it onto the actual SSD and flipping those around over and over again. And that's, you ever had a computer like when you open something up and it just freezes?
Yes.
That's what's happening there.
So I'm in 1080p Ultra. And I think that a city is probably going to be the most intensive spot. Now, how much of this though too? Because I mean, I'm looking at GPU memory. We're using up 6.5 gigs.
And this is like barely using any system memory. I didn't think it would. So I wasn't sure why it was requiring it.
Yeah, so if it says it requires 16 gigs, we have 8. It's working fine, okay?
Yeah.
We don't need 16.
Definitely not.
Would you say that this is very much so playable?
Oh, absolutely. Much more so than like Oblivion was a moment ago.
I showed him Oblivion remastered on my computer, which has 32 gigs of RAM and a 7900 XTX to go with a 13700 KF. And when I tell you that it gets down to 2 seconds per frame in the Shivering Isles, I'm not exaggerating.
And take note, it's 2 seconds per frame, not 2 frames per second.
It was bad.
It was that bad.
This is actually more smooth than Oblivion. Look at that. Hold on. We're down to 37 frames a second.
I don't have a hard answer for that right away, but it's not a system memory issue. We're only at 7.4. We still have like half a gig.
Based off what I'm saying though, something's not going well. Something's not smooth. That was a stutter. You saw that?
Okay, I did. But notice, it might be mostly in the GPU itself.
A 7700 XT.
It shouldn't.
That's running at 80% should be able to run a game in 1080p.
It should.
I'm willing to say these stutters are more so from... Ooh, I wonder though. Did you turn on the DOCP profile? Is our RAM running at 2133 megahertz instead of 3600? Because that's gonna make a difference.
That would make a difference. I never actually went in to actually change that part of it.
I feel like we should probably check.
Well, either way, we're not worrying about the speed of RAM. What we're discussing is the quantity of RAM that you need though, right? How much RAM, not how fast of RAM. So either way, we're still proving a point. Am I wrong?
2133.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm saying though is those stutters could be fixed. It could be not due to lack of RAM, but due to lack of speed.
But that's a completely different.
But what I'm saying though is if we switch it, that should get rid of those stutters. So let's switch it. So let's switch it and find out. Because if Starfield does require 16 gigs of RAM, that could be it. Maybe just something with single channel memory on a Ryzen CPU, because Ryzens are notorious for needing dual channel.
This is true.
So, for instance, if we were to go with 4 and then 8, well, no, I can't say this would perform better at it. Well, actually, yeah, you know what? These two together at its base speed would run better than that at base speed.
It should.
Because of dual channel memory.
Do we want to try those?
We did, and it didn't boot.
Maybe it'll boot this time.
Very cool. Let's do it.
We're gonna see.
I think we go back to 4.
You want to go back to 4?
Let's just see if we can get it to boot with 4.
Then we'll put all of these back in.
Why would you go back? No, not 4 sticks, 4 gigs.
Oh, gotcha. I was like, why are we putting in all of them?
No, 4 gigs. So one of those.
This is gonna be the death of us right here.
Yeah, stick it in there.
I'm telling you guys, this is what I have to put up with. All right, this is in the exact same slot that the other one was in and that one was running.
You say this is what I have to put up with. Like, you don't choose to hang out with me.
Okay, I'm a masochist, okay?
Remember, who texted who yesterday and said, hey, I can come over tomorrow? We made it further.
Hey.
We booted into Windows with 4!
Yes, we have. Likely it was just a bunch of BIOS settings that got cleared out with the last one. So, all right. We are in. Let's actually look at our task manager. We are going to go here to our performance, and you'll see we have 3.9 gigabytes, and we are currently at 97%. So,
Hold on, Weston. Do me a favor.
Yes?
Step aside quick. I don't want you to be part of this.
all right.
AMD, you are lying sacks of crap. These are not Weston's thoughts, these are mine. You put on your box it requires 8 gigs of memory. You said that was the minimum requirement for your card. I just want you to know we currently are booted with 4. Not 8, not 5, but 4. I know you can't get 5 gigs, it's okay.
I was going to say, but
Shh, just let me prove my point. So AMD Radeon, everyone says your drivers are terrible. Frankly, I disagree. I think the drivers have been pretty good, except for an Oblivion. But that being said, your marketing team, they're liars. You might want to fix that. You can come back now. I didn't want you to get drug into the AMD slander.
is it slander though if it's true?
I didn't want your good name to be drugged through the mud because I had a bone to pick. I'm loading up Starfield with 4 gigs of RAM.
Okay, let's see how this goes. Actually, do we want to start with Stardew Valley first, like we did last time?
Yeah, we probably should. That's a good call.
See, this is why we have me here, is to actually think through these things.
Oh, it crashed.
Try it again.
Stardew Valley crashed.
Well, first let's get rid of things like Discord here.
Good call.
So, and again, I don't think we need the NZXT here.
I don't think so. I don't think that's a requirement for the cooler to work. Logitech G Hub, don't need that.
Yeah, just get rid of everything.
Corsair IQ, cringe. Although that was the only thing keeping the fans quiet. Let's put out
Okay.
some air, dude.
Legit.
Holy cow,
Legit.
that's moving.
For the sake of what we're doing.
Hold on, I noticed something else. Steam is trying to transfer an update from Sea of Thieves over the network.
Oof, yeah.
Probably
no for
should
that.
have that paused.
Absolutely. All right, let's see what we got going on
Alright,
here.
we got 4 gigs of RAM here, and we're ready to rock and roll. We're hardcore gamers over here now, chat. You're gonna hear me say chat a couple times. Just deal with it, okay? It's a habit. Load game.
And actually, this is going pretty well so far.
Except for that first crash.
After we got rid of all the other crap. Let's see if this actually loads, though. Oh, we're right here at 3.9. Let's see what we got going on. How's it feeling?
I mean, we're locked in at 60, and our GPU is at 7%. Let's go.
In system memory, 100.
3.9% gigs.
Gigs.
3.9 gigs.
So the full stick. We have just at least proven that with Windows 11, you can still play Stardew Valley with 4 gigabytes of RAM.
Gamers.
We ready to try something a little bit more intense?
I'm loading up Starfield, dude. Let's be real. The people aren't here for Stardew Valley. The people are here for Starfield.
Well, no matter what, they're here for the stars. Let's see if we actually...
I swear to God, if we can load Starfield with 4 gigs of RAM, it started the Sea of Thieves transfer again on its own, which
Yep.
worries me about Starfield.
Yep.
Weston, I think I killed Starfield. Call me Star Wars, because I'm Star Killer Base. Boom! I'm so sorry.
You should be. Do we want to try killing it and restarting?
Can we try it on me first?
That makes no sense.
Try killing me so I can restart my life.
That's not how it works, though. Or are you shooting for an isekai?
I don't even know what that is. I don't speak Japanese. That word sounded very Japanese. So.
It was.
Okay, good. I was like, I just know it sounded like a Japanese word, so.
I was actually impressed that you knew that. But you were guessing, huh?
Well, it sounded Japanese. I at least have enough world knowledge to know that. I don't think this is gonna launch. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, we're reaching a point that's just not good.
I want to point out, as you can see on screen, that black bar is not the game trying to launch.
It's just an absence of everything.
That is,
Oh!
we did it! We broke it!
It was unable to start correctly. The application was unable to start correctly. Click OK to close the application.
Weston, I did it. I've
Okay.
destroyed everything.
Notice, here's Task Manager.
Now, Weston, why is there nothing showing up in Task Manager? Oh, never mind, I lied.
Because there's a lot of red showing up.
Red means bad.
Yeah. Do you want to try launching Starfield again?
I think we give Starfield one more chance.
All right.
And if it doesn't, I want to try Fall Guys. And then maybe
Okay.
Rocket League. I want to test a few different games with just 4 gigs. We have the loading symbol in the corner.
Oh.
and it died.
I'm going to say that it's not going to be successful. Oh, did Steam itself crash now? Yes, it did.
So what we're saying is that we gotta try it one more time.
I thought you just said we were trying Starfield one more time. And we just tried it and it crashed all of Steam.
Well, I meant like we gotta try Steam one more time.
Oh, well, yes, of course.
Because I want to try Fall Guys and Rocket League.
Well, Rocket League is right here, so let's go ahead and just go with that one. Play.
Because my thought process on this, the whole point of this video is, can you game on 4 gigs of RAM? We never once asked, can you play good games on 4 gigs of RAM?
This is true.
Grab a controller and kick back. Don't tell me what to do. Was that Mifa barking?
I don't know.
Do you want to go check while I...
Sure.
Now that the nerd is gone, Rocket League says it's running. I just figured Rocket League esport type of title can run on a literal potato. Did they ever try that? Did they try gaming on a potato?
Somebody did.
A literal potato. I know Linus built a PC inside of a potato.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that video?
Probably.
They hollowed out a potato. They got a big potato. They hollowed it out and they put like a Raspberry Pi or something in there.
Sounds about
So
right.
the computer was a potato. I think Rocket League crashed.
Yeah, we'll try it one more time and see if it'll play. Nope. It keeps killing it.
So are we with this video. Give it a
I know,
thumbs up.
right? So,
Alright, so I want to try Fall Guys. Fall Guys is even more of a potato game, correct?
I would say so. I mean, the characters even look like potatoes for the most part.
But they're the cute little beans.
Been there, done that. Oh, installing a bunch of epic stuff.
Well, great, this computer's shot.
Are we gonna actually get to play Fall Guys here?
I hope so. I want to get a crown on 4 gigs. And a mouse and keyboard, I guess. I don't even know how this is gonna go. Okay, now Weston, I'm no expert in the field. Okay?
Obviously.
But from what I'm seeing here, I want to say that it's not gonna load.
We don't know that for certain yet. This might be one of those things where you just like do a time skip and come back a little later and see if it's actually managed to get functioning.
3.6 gigs.
Mm-hmm. We're still doing fine. We still got some space left. Some being the keyword, not much. That said, it also wouldn't surprise me if you like saw this suddenly go non-responsive. Would not surprise me either way.
I think we lost it, Weston. I lost something
Yep.
once.
Not responding. Hang on while Windows reports the issue to Microsoft.
Yeah, Microsoft, fix it. Weston, I think that it's safe. We can confirm. Can you game on 4 gigs of RAM?
Stardew Valley? Yes. Anything else? No.
So Stardew Valley fans, if you want to cheap out,
Hey, you got this.
you're a budget baller out there.
Mm-hmm.
4 gigs of RAM. Don't expect to listen to music on Spotify while you play.
Oh, no.
You better hope that in-game soundtrack is good. And you certainly better not hope to talk to any of your friends on Discord. But you know what?
Hey.
Let's be real. If you're playing Stardew Valley, you don't have those anyways. I just want to point out, before I get hate on it in the comments, my favorite series are Zelda and Elder Scrolls. 2 series with no multiplayer because I don't have friends to game with.
This is true.
I think that we've shown we played Starfield on 8.
But wasn't dual channel 8.
It was not dual channel 8. So do you want to either up the speed of the 1, or would that be a different video? Dual channel memory versus single channel of a higher speed.
That would actually be a nice video on its own.
Give this video a thumbs up if you'd like to see that video. But I think that we've recorded for long enough for one
I would
video
think so.
today.
We
The
have-
whole point of this video is, can you game on 4 gigs of RAM? I think we can both decisively say no.
No.
So give this video a thumbs up for Bikini Bottom. Comment what house you'd want to live in, and let us know what videos you want to see next. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe.
Thanks.
You gotta subscribe for Mifa though. Hold on.
Oh.
Subscribe for the puppy.